This is JF 3000, aka Mr. Get Down or Lay Down, aka the Haitian of Domination, aka the man that's going to be on top of the world very soon. And guess what we're doing? We're drinking at Moe's.
All right, everybody, taking time out before we get this show started. I want to thank Reaper Apparel for having Drinkin' Mo's be a brand ambassador for their clothing line. They got good stuff. They got t-shirts, they got hoodies, they got beanies, they got lots of great stuff, encouraging everybody to break out of their comfort zone, live their best self, and hey, it's something I try to live every day. Now, be sure when you go and you're filling out your order, use the code Drinkin' at Moe's, get 10% off, and the link and the code will both be in the description. Let's fucking
All right,
go.
everybody, welcome Drinkin' at Moe's. Big Mo here. You know the drill by now after damn 200 episodes. YouTube, like, subscribe, share, comment, all that good stuff, because YouTube's algorithm is a pain in the ass. We are most places you can find your audio podcast too. I'm excited to have with me today JF 3000. How you doing?
Good, very good. How you doing?
Oh, I can't complain. My friend and I, that he co-hosts the My Two Cents portion of stuff with me. We're going to Sammy Callahan's promotion, Wrestling Revolver, in a couple weeks, so that's
nice.
gonna be fun.
Yeah.
The card is already pretty stacked when you have stuff like, what was it? The one that I'm really looking forward to is Steve Macklin, Ricky Shane Page, Alex Colon, and Killer Kelly versus the Second Gear Crew and Masha Slamovich.
Oh, yeah, that's already a stacked match.
Oh, I have already had the pleasure of meeting, Alex Colon was at the last one, but I didn't actually get to meet him. But I met pretty much everybody else in the match besides Masha Slamovich. This is my first time getting to see her live, and I'm excited because I am a huge fan.
Yeah. I definitely got to see her in action a few times when I was training in Vegas. The real deal.
Oh, yeah. And, I've had some other cool wrestling stuff come up and some outside that will be shared soon. But I've been able to do little hype videos for the channels with Grizzled Young Veterans and Mike Bennett.
Okay.
Yeah, so some good stuff that's been happening lately.
Yeah.
So I can't complain too much. But first thing I'd like to start off with everybody is what got you started as a fan, and then what made you finally decide to make that leap and join in on all the fun?
Well, okay. Maybe when I was about 3 to 4 years old, my father, you know what I mean, he either put it on or he took me to an event. I remember there being multiple times watching it on TV, but at the same time there being in an event. And I remember seeing, like, just out of everything, I just remember seeing Mick Foley or Mankind at the time. They were beating him up in the ring, and I remember everybody chanting Rocky, Rocky. I'm 31, you know what I mean? That'll put my age in perspective. And he didn't come out, you know what I mean? I think we were probably like a house show or something, so you know what I mean? Like, there wasn't really too much star power. But it was just a moment for me to where I was like, wow, this guy was getting beat up, and he didn't have anybody to save him, you know what I mean? And then just understanding that what's gonna happen next. Like, how is this what just trying to process that as a 5-year-old kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And being into superheroes and being in the, you know what I mean, just larger than life things, seeing people like Hulk Hogan, you know what I mean? Like what's Hogan, like 6'8", 6'9", like 300 pounds, know what I mean? It's like seeing people like that. It's like, oh my god, that's like
No,
that's our Superman. You know what I
I've
mean?
I've got my own stories, but I'll let you uh, tell yours. But I have some similar stories to yours.
Yes, yeah. So it was just like that. So I was just like, wow, you know what I mean? Like these are like superheroes to me. And after a while, it just I loved the bodybuilding part of it. I loved just everything about pro wrestling to the point to where I got to my I was in my mid 20s and I was like, oh, I gotta find out how to do this. I gotta find out how to do this. And then I lost the flair, just life, having kids and stuff like that. And then just what I want to do this again. I want to try this again. And now being in the business for almost 4 or 5 years, you know what I mean? I feel like it's definitely changed my life for the better. I've always struggled with my weight and things like that, and it's helped me correct and fix those things as well as um, become a better human. I feel like because now I'm able to talk to more people. I'm able to get my emotions out and understand people through their emotions, as well as understanding what kind of story someone wants to tell in the ring through those emotions.
No, I can definitely understand you there. I mean, especially with the health aspects, I can imagine having to stay in ring shape helps in general keep you in regular shape for one
Yeah,
thing, and then you know helping with some of the other skills, talking to people and stuff. I know, hell, some people that don't know me all too well might not realize before starting the podcast, I was one hell of an introvert. I still kind of am. And like the thought of starting a podcast and actually regularly talking to people scared the shit out of me. And well, here I am now, over 200 episodes done and released. Episode 201 was just released as of, we're recording this today. And
nice.
I've had, if I weren't to have started it, I wouldn't have been able to talk to people like former Ring of Honor owner Terry Silkin,
Yeah,
uh, the guys that literally invented the Spanish Fly among a lot of other maneuvers, the SATs. Talk to them. I've been invited to things for Warrior Wrestling out of Chicago, and in turn got to have a mini episode with Bronson Reed.
oof,
I've been able to talk to Billy Starks, former Ring of Honor 6-man tag champ Dutch, who's now back in Ring of Honor in AEW.
yeah,
Like I've had, I've been fortunate, and my start watching pro wrestling in general. You talk about dating yourself. I'm as old as WrestleMania, and my first ever show that I ever got to go to was about an hour away from me, and my parents got me it for the tickets for Christmas, and I didn't realize at the time, but we were on the floor. We were gonna be like right close to the entrance. I'm a little third grader, and I'm head shrinker fought too. My signed figure back there. I got to meet him recently. He was in that show against Coco Beware and Owen Hart, and Owen Hart walking right by me, and I'm like,
yeah,
holy moly! And then
yeah.
my personal favorite, the match to this day, I still remember. One of my personal favorites. I have the figure of him back there. Big Boss Man versus Yokozuna. And let me tell that whole thing about these larger than life people walking by you when you're like a little kid. Just imagine me, a little third grader, standing there, and here comes walking by Yokozuna. Like I joke about it now, but like I'm at the time, holy crap, I was probably could have used my dad bringing a change of pants.
Yeah,
That guy walking by me, holy moly. Although I was thankful one a little disappointed at the time, but in a way kind of thankful. But a match that was supposed to happen that night, and it's weird, I still remember this. Undertaker versus Papa Shango.
And did it happen?
And one of them, one or the other, wasn't able to make it, so the match didn't happen. And there, like, I saw the card and I'm like, oh God, oh God, oh God. Like, we are gonna be right there. And like, third grader Papa Shango scared the shit out of me.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And realizing that, I mean, hell, Undertaker too.
Yeah.
Scared the crap out of me. And I'm like, oh my God, they're gonna be right there. Yeah, but hey, I had fun. I gotta tell Rikishi the story of them being in that first show I ever went to. And even got to tell him that the little story I always chuckle at, where a little third grader in me got a huge laugh out of it. That one thing I vaguely, I really remember during that match was I forget which one of the head shrinkers it was, picked his nose and then ate it. And me, I'm sitting there like, he ate his booger.
It's those
little things you remember.
Yeah, it's those little things that you remember for a lifetime. I remember I did something like that as well when I was wrestling for a company called Destination 6, and it was a kid's birthday, and he was in the ring. You know what I mean? And I think I remember him having a cake there, or maybe the cake was outside the ring, but I remember there was a cake there, and he had gotten the ring, and I'm normally a heel, so they wanted me to go out there. Oh, cut a little promo with him. You know what I mean? Like talk a little trash. So I talked trash about him and his brother, but I called to him in there. You know what I mean? And he was just a child. You know what I mean? And just thinking about it, well, I told him, I was like, when I turn around, I was like, I'm going to turn around and talk to the fans. And when I turn back around, kick me in the nuts. I told that to the kid. And he did it. You know what I mean? Like, he listened. Any wrestler would have been amazingly happy at that, because, you know what I mean? Wow, like a child, like maybe he was like about 6 years old. But he listened, and the reaction from the crowd, they loved him. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I'm in my head, I'm like, this is a moment in this kid's life that he will never forget.
Yeah. Oh man, I can only imagine that memory is just gonna stick in his head forever.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God, I actually got it. Oh yeah. I remember the time that as a little kid getting to I never won anything, and just one time randomly out of town entered myself into this this thing for just in case the dog tries to knock down my stand. It was a thing for a little dinner with the Harlem Globetrotters before a show. And like, they literally, you know what? I remember now, it was Popeyes. They had this whole thing set up, and man, I got to invite a few of my classmates, and we all got to go and just getting to. They did that whole spinning the ball, and like, it's that little stuff that it's like, holy crap! You always remember that, and that's awesome. You gotta, give that to a fan. I know I've had some pleasant and not so pleasant interactions with some wrestlers. I know I joke about it, but I like that your family at one point was, or still now, supportive of you in wrestling. I know my family didn't, my parents didn't really enjoy me watching wrestling too much. I mean, at one point they were just like, oh, he's gonna do it, whatever. But there was literally times where after that first show, I remember them telling me, it was like they thought it was just a phase, and when I went to a show that like I would kind of grow out of it.
Yeah.
But I'm like, nope, you made it worse.
Yeah, it gets worse.
You made it worse. And then, now I getting to meet a bunch of them, and then some of my favorites even, which I got stories on that later. But I get a chuckle out of this, and I haven't told this story in a while, but it even further demonstrates this with my family. I love them to death. But there was one point before I met my wife that, me going to the shows, they literally asked me, do you really think you're going to meet anybody going to those shows? I kid you not. I did not know this at the time, but my future wife, periodically would help out the merch table at a local promotion.
Oh, wow.
And one of my really good friends wrestled for them. He wrestles for both because we got two. And he'd been trying to get me to go to one for a while. And I'm like, you know what? I worked evenings at the time, and I told him, you know what? They got a show on a day I got off. I'll go. Yeah. I'll go. And damn, this is what I get for having the dog down here, almost knocking down my stand here. But I love her to death, though. But I go, and I kid you not, I hadn't been there more than, see, there we go again. I'm going to get down. Love her to death, but she can be a little bit of a rascal. But like I was saying, now that I got my train of thought back, wow. But I hadn't been there more than maybe 45 minutes. Show was maybe a little ways from getting started. And he comes up to me, he's like, hey, I got somebody I want you to meet. And then boom, here we are. We're approaching our 5th-year wedding anniversary. And I remember walking up to my dad the day of the wedding and laughing. I'm like, I remember when you asked me, do you really think you're going to meet anybody at these shows? And look at me now. I'm marrying one I've met at one. So it's awesome hearing those stories of, families actually being supportive of it.
Yes, yes.
Because, I mean, mine, man, they kind of tried to discourage it, but they weren't really going to stop me.
Yeah. So, that makes sense.
Yeah.
They're like, we don't really want you to, but we're not going to tell you not to because you're probably going to do it anyway.
Just like I tell my wife every time she tells me I can never say no to her, and I just say, have you seen what happens when I try?
I'm the same way with my wife.
Yeah, same way. I tell her, I'm just cutting out the middle part. Why even argue? You're going to find a way to get what you want anyway. So just you let me know ahead of time that you're doing it. Cool.
Yeah, that's what matters.
Yep. At least just warn me before you do it. Then we're good.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that.
Because hell, there's been times where, I kid you not like a huge chandelier, but she at one point asked me, what would you think of a chandelier in the closet? Because we got a walk-in one. And then I come home and boom, there it is. It's like she already had it in there before she even asked me.
Wow.
I swear to God, that's what happened. I swear.
It's definitely predictive programming.
Yep. So
He's I don't even sound, and you're like, okay. And then next thing you know, it's already in there.
Oh yeah. Hell, she's the type that she'll bribe me with going out to lunch or dinner, and then on the way home, oh, by the way, we're going to Home Goods or some other store that I hate going to.
For 2 hours.
I'm like, you asshole, you bribed me with food and you knew it would work.
Now I'm full. And I feel
good. Now I'm full and I don't feel like arguing.
Yeah. They know how to get us. They know how to get us.
They do. They got that. I don't know what it is, but they got it. But back into the wrestling side of things. See, I get into some tangents every once in a while. It's that I have categories at the end. One of them being random questions, which more often than not, some of them have nothing to do with anything we talked about before it. So that feeds even more into the whole tangent thing. But like I said, back in the wrestling side of things, I like to hear a lot about how people come up with their in-ring personas. Some people will, more often than not, it's like just an extension of their selves. But, that first little bit, more often than not, I hear about it being kind of a feeling out process.
Mm-hmm.
What's going to work? What doesn't? This hit with the crowd, that didn't, that whole ordeal.
Yeah.
But what was it like for you coming up with yours?
For me, I've always been into like, well, now my style is not very technical, but I've always been into like very technical, like bruisers, you know what I mean? Like just hard hitting, very intense wrestlers.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, I mean, that's always been what I've been into. So I've always been on the wanting to have everything more intense in my style, in my looking, and everything. And JF 3000 really, the name really came from it really comes from my name, and I was going to just be JF3, but then I was like, it's kind of overdone. I didn't want to, rip off of EC3 or any other wrestler that were kind of had a similar name. So I was like, I'm not as big as EC3, but I'm 6'4". I'm almost 300 pounds now. So I was like, the 3000 could be for my just my power level. You know what I mean? Like if we were to go into like Dragon Ball Z talk,
Gotcha. And it kind of made me think of trying to get my train of thought back. Terminators.
Yeah, that
like
too.
Robotic robots that like the names always have something and like some numbers at the end of it.
Yes.
It kind of made me think of that.
Yes, it's kind of like a rip-off between both of those. Like my name was how it started, but once I was like, like I was starting to get into like more like you said, the Terminator and like Wolverine, like Wolverine was created in the lab, and like just trying to develop the character and trying to turn it into something not really normal. I've come up with just the name JF 3000 was it's a ripoff of his basically like, so I kind of like stole the Wolverine story. If we want to go in depth, I don't know if Wolverine ever had a code like had a serial number or anything, but I'm basing my character off of the first couple numbers of his serial number, which in what I've created was JF3K4527I, and those were his serial numbers. He's a human, but you know what I mean, like a lot of his parts were made in the lab and things like that. And I'm trying to develop that as I go along with promos and not just, you know what I mean? Like, well, now I'm like outright telling you, but I want to like develop it more with like promos and just like showing it through character work and through like different things in matches when promoters are telling me, oh, like when they say, oh, we want to see more of the Terminator things, and I'm getting hit in the head or I'm getting beat up as much as possible and I'm just getting back up, and I'm not necessarily no selling, which a lot of people do, you know what I mean, but more or less like selling it, but still like machine, like, you know what I mean, like still like just an overall machine.
Yeah, there's still that aspect of selling it because the Terminator, there was those times where it'd be knocked down, but then that robotically got back up, and then you're just like, oh shit.
Just like in the end of the first Terminator when he was still crawling even though he was dying, it's like fight till the end, they're like fight till the end. Even like there's been a lot of matches where I've gotten pinned and I've still gotten up and I'm still like trying to like get at my opponent, and they're like, what the hell, like, you know what I mean? I haven't got to the point to where I'm like trying to like have the fear in the eyes of the referee, but at least my opponent,
that would make a last man standing match kind of difficult for the person you're facing. You're constantly
yes. I would literally have to be put into a trash can, thrown off of something, and tied up. Like, you know what I mean? Like that match could be so intricate with what we can do for my loss, to where it could be kind of like a mobster thing. Like I have cement on my feet, and I have like rope chains, and now I'm on the bottom of the ocean. You know what I mean? Like that would be hilarious.
That,
Like
yeah. Now that I'm thinking about it, holy crap, yeah, that needs to happen. We're getting ideas on the show. All right. So one of the promotions that I've seen advertised on, social media for you, I've actually had a handful of people that have gone through their doors on, including the promoter, talking about ORC One Ring Circus.
yes.
What do you have going on there? Kind of explain it for the people that, outside of Southern California might not know too much about you and One Ring Circus.
One Ring Circus is a wrestling promotion based outside of San Diego, California. We run out of Ale Smith Brewery in San Diego, California. This will be our, I think, 11th Ale Slam, and it's tomorrow. I'm going up against the mighty Tortuga. I am the first ever ORC One Ring Circus Anyway champion. I just beat Rebel Storm for that championship. And like I said, I'm doing a lot of wacky and outrageous things. I stole his car to make sure he couldn't get to the venue. But
I
being
love it.
and there's a promo for it and everything, but being a robot and being someone that was created in a lab, you don't really have a lot of smarts. You know what I mean? So JF3000 didn't understand that there's a thing called Uber, So it's like he still was able to show up and everything, and it was fun talking to the fans. They're like, I don't know if he's gonna show up, and then just me like, he's not showing up. How is he gonna show up? He has no transportation. Like, how is he gonna show up? And then fans, oh my god, he's here! It made the show like it was just a fun environment.
Oh yeah, no, that right there. I love the little details like that. Like, there's a lot of independent wrestling out there that it seems like it's just matches for the sake of matches. But when you get the little details in there like that, oh my god, I love it. Absolutely love it.
Exactly. Yes.
Now,
there are definitely people like that too. A lot of people. Oh, sorry, but yeah, there are a lot that they're into the matches. They just want the matches. But there are a lot of people, especially children, that want something else to be able to digest. And it's just like a lot of guys want to go in the ring and they're going 100 miles per hour and they can't digest that already. So why not give them something to either laugh at, cry about, be angry about? Those are just the little things, like you said, like it's the little things in between that really gets turn a show from okay show to a great show.
Yeah, most definitely. I know I've had some great ones like that myself, including some of them I kind of bring them on myself because I am the type of fan when I'm at a show, if I'm close enough, I like to try to get somebody to crack.
Yeah.
Whether it's a wrestler, whether it's a referee, photographer, ring announcer, whoever. I've been lucky enough sometimes I get it done before the show even starts. That's a task. But this last time I mentioned Mike Bennett. Met him a handful of times, always a class act. I got nothing but great things to say about him. But I got him during his match.
Oh, did you?
And he even's like, oh, that made my night, man. Because it was, one of those kind of rest parts of the match. Like,
oh, yeah.
And the crowd wasn't making too much noise at the time, so I just yelled out, and he just busted out laughing. And I'm like, yes.
That's hilarious.
Oh yeah.
And, you'll be able to you'll be able to do that. You'll definitely be able to do that. Especially because sometimes we're in there and we're like focused and we're so serious. That there's been times where I've even ribbed my opponent. You know what I mean? Like there's been times where maybe I've been a little too stiff, and then they're coming back every stiff, and they're like, "What's going on?" And I'm just like, "I love you." Like, you know what I mean? I'm just like, how do I react to that? It's just funny. Like to one of my trainers, Sin Bodhi, he's the master at doing stuff like that, and it's just like especially with a character like mine, try to be so serious, and it's like when
Yeah.
guys try to do that in the ring. Honestly, it makes me better because it makes me not, you know what I mean, not go into the laughter or the just coming out of character because I've just been told my whole career, oh, you know, if you come out of character, your character is not going to be as serious. So just for me, I love that challenge, and that was somebody that really would push the ball when it comes to that, you know, just trying to get people to crack.
Oh yeah, that's one of my things at any show I'm at. I can't help it. It happened one time, and then I'm like, oh, that was too much fun. I got to keep doing that every. Now, if it weren't for that first person, I don't remember who the hell it was, but you never know. I might be a totally different fan at them shows, but I can't help it. I have too much fun with it.
Oh yeah, oh definitely.
Especially the ring announcers. I love getting them.
It's great because all of us we're into it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I love feeding off the energy, like whatever it is, whether it's funny or whether it's, you know, because you could say something and it could be funny, but I can look at you just like, you know what I mean? Just like real mad. But even though it's like inside, I'm probably like dying with laughter, but outside, I'm trying to show that,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Trying not to like crack up. So I'm just like doing like a stupid face and I'm trying to make you laugh more.
Yeah. Like I've had times where the guy, like one in particular that I remember right off the top of my head, he comes to the ring with a flask. And I'm like, that's fucking water in there. That's fucking water. He ain't drinking shit. And then he looks at me because I was drinking a Miller Lite at the time. I was like, you're drinking water right there too, damn it.
Yeah, definitely a double bird.
Yeah, I love that little shit like that because, you know, and I'm the type that if I'm gonna dish it out, I can take it. And
Yeah.
I love that back and forth because it's just too damn entertaining for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It turns it into more than wrestling, you know?
Oh yeah. And that's the beauty of it, that like you can have those moments. You know, the beauty of independent wrestling
Yes.
is you can still have those moments with, you know, the national televised stuff, but you're paying a shitload more.
Yeah.
And you aren't guaranteed that interaction.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
just like by chance. Independent wrestling, if you're that close and you're actively participating, trying to get that reaction,
You're gonna get
you'll
it.
get it.
Yeah.
That's the one of many things I love about it. Now, another promotion that excuse me, one of my friends gives me shit about this because I always say I love my Dr. Pepper, but he gives me the burps like crazy. I probably drink a little too much of it. Whatever. Another promotion that I saw that somewhat familiar with, but I don't believe was around during my time down there is VPW, Valor Pro. Kind of same thing, asking about what do you have going on there, and explain Valor Pro to the people out there that'll listen that might not be as familiar with them.
Valor Pro is another Southern California company. I'm honestly drawing a dud on exactly where, but I know that they were partnered up at first with D6 Wrestling, and D6 went, and I think they're in Chicago or somewhere. They went and did their thing, and the other promoters that stayed created Valor Pro Wrestling, a great promotion. They're giving guys from Arizona, Vegas, or Nevada, and California opportunities. I don't know how many shows they've had. I like personally, I think I was at their first three shows, and other than that, they've had maybe like four or five other ones.
Relatively new still, though.
Yeah, relatively new. I know that right now that we're in a tour. Like the last match I know that I won, I was to be participated in a tournament, and I was just about to give out the whole like style of the tournament, but I don't even know if they want that. So yeah, so I just want a tournament match. I know that there's going to be a fatal four way, and then after that there's going to be another fatal four way because I think the idea. I'll just give out the idea. The idea is he wants to get four of the best opponents from Southern Cali, North Cali, Nevada, and Arizona, and have fatal four ways for each of the we'll call it continents, each of the little sections or whatever.
Yeah.
And the winners of those will
Go to
go
face.
on. Yeah, and then those four and the winner of those four, I think, will be the Valor Pro champion.
Okay,
I think
I
that's
kind of like it. There's
yeah, it's different.
it's different because most people I'm sure are used to when it comes to tournaments it just being one-on-one matches until
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
there are those promotions out there now like Valor Pro, like some good friends of mine out east with the Hardcore Hustle organization, Matt Tremont's promotion. They've been very good to me. I've got loads of great things to say about them, but that's besides the point. Their Hustle Cup is pretty much like that. Like,
I like that.
I think it was, I want to say, a couple four-way matches and then like a triple threat in there, and very similar to what you were mentioning.
Yeah.
Because I think they got their next Hustle Cup coming up right around WrestleMania week. They got like either H2O or another promotion they're partnering with during that week. They got shows literally Monday all through the week.
Oh, nice. Dang.
Some days too.
Always working. Always working.
Oh yeah. I mean, hell, that's one of the beauties of WrestleMania week. The wrestling isn't just about WWE. You got all the independent promotions from all over bringing their best to wow the crowds.
Exactly. And it's great for the fans because you get to see the best of all the worlds of wrestling. And people travel, like, you know what I mean? There'll be people from Australia, there'll be people from Japan, people from everywhere, and it's great for the fans because you guys get to see so many styles mesh.
Oh, most definitely. And there's rumors always going around about, the next locations of WrestleMania. One of them being not too far away from me in Minneapolis, which, hell, I was just there. I was literally there, me being a cheesehead. I was there for the New Year's Eve, the Vikings-Packers game on New Year's Eve.
So that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah, that wasn't that long ago, and it was fun. Like, I was worried because my brother had been there for a Packers-Vikings game, and the Vikings fans did not treat him too well.
Oh,
they treated me great though. It was weird. I was expecting the bad, but I got good. It was. What is going on?
What was it? What was he wearing? You said.
I don't know what he was wearing, but I know him along with most of my side of the family, Packers fans.
Yeah.
With the exception of one of my brothers-in-law. He's a Chiefs guy.
Oh, okay.
But it's even weirder for me because my wife and her side of things, all 49ers fans. Every one of them. So when they were playing the Packers for the right to, I forget, I think it was the NFC title game, actually.
Yeah.
That, that was interesting. The lone Packer fan in the midst of all those 49ers fans, that I love them to death, but still, boy, that was like, what the hell?
Yeah, it must have been rough.
Yeah, but with it possibly being at Minneapolis, I'm like, the place that we stayed at was the relative of a friend's, and I'm like, if WrestleMania actually comes here, we should do this and stay up here again.
Yeah, that'd be pretty smart. It was
we wouldn't have to worry about a hotel or nothing. So yeah, now damn it, I'm giving myself ideas. Reinforcing ideas. Anyways, like I said, I got two categories that I like to round stuff off with. One's a bit of a name game where I name off some people. You give me quick thoughts on the person.
Okay.
Now, I try to theme it towards the guest as much as possible. And, you know, I have a bit of a Southern California connection. I consider it a second home because I was stationed there for 4 years.
Okay.
And you got the Southern California connection. So each of these people, big names in Southern California, whether they've made it to national TV or not, but they're people I sure remember. Now, first one, Young Bucks.
Oh, the Young Bucks. Oh, they definitely changed wrestling for the good. Some people could say for the bad. I mean, it depends on what you like. But yeah, I give them a thumbs up. I give the Young Bucks a thumbs.
Oh, most definitely. And that's the thing when it comes to wrestling. The beauty of it. It's subjective. One
Yes,
person could like some, one person could hate that same thing. And
exactly.
the true beauty of that is neither one of them's wrong.
Exactly. Neither one of them's wrong.
And
That's the beauty of it. Just like
oh yeah.
just like John Cena and back in the prime is you either loved him or you hate him, but you weren't gonna stop. You know?
You weren't gonna stop watching just
Yeah,
because
that too, yeah.
you like if you loved him, you cheered him on. If you hated him, you watched him hoping he'd get his ass kicked.
Exactly.
And I was just trying to think, oh, here locally, I need to, I guess, re-emphasize in my 2 cents stuff, even though I think I say it at the beginning of every episode, that is, it's my opinion and my co-host's opinion and ours alone. If you agree with it, cool. If you don't, hey, we invite the conversation. Well, there's been, I try to keep things lighthearted and fun, so I don't feel like I want to trash anybody, even though I could.
Yeah.
But there's been some, we'll just say some people here locally that they seem to only listen to one part and not the others. And yeah, they seem to,
It's I know where you're getting at. I definitely know what you're getting at.
yeah, they let's just say for the lack, getting to right to the point, they don't really like some of my opinions.
Yeah.
But I'm like, you know what? Hey, I got plenty of people out there that like what I'm doing. I'm in talks with the people from all over the country about some really cool stuff. So
yeah. And that's all that matters, I mean,
oh
at the end
yeah,
of the day, there's gonna, I mean, whether they're new or whether they're old, there's gonna be a territory where there are people that are bitter because they see other people in places of opportunity that they're not in. But at the end of the day, we have to put ourselves like just like you said, you started this. I don't want to say a dollar in a prayer, but basically that's what it was. Like you didn't have an idea of. I mean, you had an idea of what you wanted, but you didn't know what it could turn into. And now you're married. You know what I mean? You've met so many stars, and you're going to continue to meet more. And people are bitter because those same people that they want to wrestle and they want to be around, you are around.
Yep, that's the way I try to think about it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Hell, I'll go into it. God, that dog back there getting into some shit. But anyways, some of these people behind me, the figures I've had signed, I've met through doing stuff for the podcast.
Yeah.
And, maybe I would have gotten it without it. Maybe I still would have gone to those shows, but shit, I know some of these people, I definitely wouldn't have been able to meet them if it weren't for it. So,
yeah.
So, hey, it's all good. I mean, I've been featured on preview shows for Warrior Wrestling out of Chicago.
Oh, wow.
Their pay-per-views. I've been on 2 different streaming platforms.
Wow. Yeah, see, it's opening doors. It's
Oh
definitely
yeah,
doors.
they were the first like big promotion that really took a chance on me. I forever grateful for those guys. Hell, I have the promoter's number on speed dial on my phone.
That's the
But
thing.
anyways, oh wait, go ahead.
That's the thing. A lot of people, just like going back to what I was saying, a lot of people they don't put into the business and then they expect to get all this. You're putting all this life and all this love and all this care into the business, and that's why people are noticing and they're like, "Wow, there's a spot for you if you want it with whatever you want to do." Like that's why people do it, and it just
Yeah,
sucks. It just sucks for
yeah,
those people. They just have a backwards way of thinking.
yep. No, that's the way I look at it, and I'm just like, you know what? I've got plenty of good. Why should I give a crap about the bad?
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
All right, next one. Guy making some noise, getting back there with the back now to TNA wrestling. I'm kind of glad they got back to that because now see, this is what I get for having the dogs down here. They would be winding up a storm if I had them upstairs.
Oh yeah.
At least they're making a little less noise down here. But anyways, next one talking about TNA wrestling. Kazarian, Frankie Kazarian.
Oh, because I honestly I love watching Kazarian. I've never got a chance to meet him. I've never got the chance to be in a locker room or anything with him. But just when I watch him on TV, just he's always amazed me. You know what I mean? And being able to watch him from kind of like the start of his, I don't know if it's exactly the start of his career, but when I was younger, watching him like in TNA and stuff like that, him and AJ Styles, they really had a
Oh
lot of
yeah,
bangers back then, and that's somebody that if I were to go to AEW or if I were to even be invited to ROH, somebody I would love to talk to backstage because I know he has a lot of knowledge. I just know for a fact.
definitely. Next up, I got my own little story on this guy, and I can't remember if he is indeed back, but talking about Scorpio Sky.
Yes, Scorpio Sky. Scorpio Sky. I haven't met him either. I haven't met him either, but seeing his work on TV and being able to watch him, um, he definitely does turn a lot of heads. Like you said, I haven't really seen him in a while. Like maybe he probably was injured or just taking a break.
Yeah, I think he
But
was injured or something.
yeah,
I'm
but
forgetting what exactly, but
definitely excited to see him back.
oh yeah. I my little story with him is I have got to meet him before, and this was like way back when I was still stationed in San Diego for the promotion that actually held my first ever independent wrestling show I ever went to. It wasn't on that particular show, but the I call it honestly my favorite ever wrestling match I was ever there to witness, and it was a fatal four-way match, and I can for sure name two out of the four right now off the top of my head. Some names memory gets a little fuzzy on some things after 200 episodes, but Scorpio Sky and TJP,
Okay.
and hands down favorite match I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, TJP definitely is going to be and Scorpio. Yeah, that's and you were there. Yeah, you were going to remember that. That's
Oh
one of
yeah,
those pay $10 to get into, and you're like, yeah, I'm going to remember that for a lifetime.
oh yeah, yeah. That promotion, I've had so many great memories with them. I've actually had both of the promoters on,
Oh,
and
no.
that was nice. I nothing but love for those guys. But yeah, I remember taking a friend that I was stationed with on my ship to a show one time, and he's like, "How do you? There's no guardrail. How do you know if they're like gonna come out here?" I'm like, "Just watch me, you'll know."
Like that.
And then there was one time where it's like I could just tell the guy was getting ready to do a leap over the top ropes. I'm like, "You're gonna want to move."
Yeah. What's good? You warned him.
Yeah, I wasn't just gonna let him flop onto him or nothing. I'm not that bad of a friend. All right, now, last but not least, this guy, unfortunately, I don't believe has made it onto national TV, although, damn it, he should. But the guy is like a brother to me, and I've always said that if I will never pass up a chance to hype this guy up on my show, any chance I get. SoCal independent wrestling legend, SoCal Crazy.
Oh yes, yes. I believe he definitely should have been, or still should be, on some kind of broadcast or television show, even if it's not on scene. Have him do some like story stuff or in the truck or something. That man has so much knowledge that he
Oh,
can
yeah.
give.
I mean,
And
I'll even give it if he has to be somebody other than the SoCal Crazy name.
yeah,
Like, if
yeah,
we know that it's him,
exactly,
that's all I care about.
exactly. That's another guy. I love being in the locker room with him. He's definitely giving me a lot of pointers. You know what I mean? Helping my game elevate to where it needs to be. And I was gonna say I think he just got back off an injury too. Like that about two
Yeah,
weeks. Yeah.
he had taken a break because he had cancer.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah, it was
See,
cancer.
the man's beating cancer, still winning championships. He's a
Like
soldier.
late stage cancer too.
Yes,
And
that man's a unit.
oh yeah, I've got he is like a damn brother to me. Got nothing but great things to say about him. Love him to death, and I love it that he is making up for lost time.
Yeah,
And hell, he's been, I think, recently won another title.
yeah,
He's
yeah,
he's been he did a course with the New Japan LA Dojo,
yeah. He did.
which I was like, when I saw that group picture, I'm like, dude, I could not be happier. That was amazing. I
Yeah.
loved it. Yeah. And you know what? He was in my first ever independent wrestling show I ever went to.
Oh wow, that was in
Yep.
San Diego.
Yep. In San Diego. Yep. The promotion that it was for shut down right before I was getting back from my deployment, which I give them shit about. I give the promoters shit about that all the time. I'm like, damn it, you couldn't have waited like a month.
Yeah, couldn't have waited.
Yeah, couldn't have waited a month. Just one. But yeah, it's nothing but love for those guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, now to those random questions I talked about. Some might be wrestling related, some might not be, some might have absolutely nothing to do with anything we've talked about.
Okay.
I love the reactions I get when I added that little bit in here because people laughing like, oh boy, this is going to be fun.
I can only imagine.
All right. One of the questions I pretty much keep in here most of the time, pretty much all the time, really. Craziest in-match moment for you?
Craziest in-match moment. Craziest in-match moment for me was a match that I had with a guy named Motros Jungle. If you
I've
know,
heard of it.
if you know him, you know he's well over 300, maybe 400 pounds. Let's just say coconuts because that's what he goes by. So
I'll have to remember that.
we were main eventing a Rising Star show, and the mats had moved, and so there was an intermission, and then there was two other matches, and during those two other matches, I guess mats had got displaced and moved around. So when me and him were in there, we were bumping around on all steel and wood,
Oh,
and oh, it hurt so much. And his finisher is a splash off the top rope, and a 400-pound man coming off you on the top rope onto
no.
just bone and flesh. On the other side, is wood and steel. It's like, yeah, people say this business is fake, but it's like, oh yeah, that
Oh God,
I
no,
felt
yeah,
that for a week.
Oh man, yep. I've you bring that up. I've actually seen a couple matches where they literally called it a bare bones match. They take
Everything.
the
Yeah.
canvas off, they take the mats off, and it's just the wood.
Oh God.
Yeah,
You feel
brutal.
that? Yeah, you feel that. You feel that a week later.
Yeah, and then I've seen some crazy stuff. Coincidentally, for the same promotion, I described that particular match as war games without the cage. Like everybody is like handcuffed to different parts of the ring, and then they let you go at intervals like
Yeah.
war games, and then you're bringing in weapons with you and stuff. They went out into the street. And it was kind of a busy street at the time, and somebody pulled out a bundle of light tubes and
What?
whacked a guy over the head with that. And then the same guy that got whacked over the head with, I'm back inside sitting down. He gets spun around, blood flings all over. I got it on my shirt, on my phone. It was intense. And then
Wow.
talked about Sammy Callahan's promotion. My first ever death match that I ever got to witness was there. Jake Chris versus Joel Bateman. And I kid you not, that it started crazy enough because they had just finished a Monsters Ball match. So there
Yeah.
was shit all over.
All over the place. Oh God.
And they were trying to clean it up, and Jake rolls in. It's like, fuck it, leave it. Let's go. And then it ended by them taking 4 folding chairs. They bridged 2 panes of glass on the chairs. And then Jake's friend rolls in, and I see him pull out lighter fluid from his pocket.
On the glass?
They lit the glass on fire.
Oh damn! That right there, that's different.
Yeah, it was intense, and I loved it. I loved it. But
Yeah,
I mean, hell, I'm the type of guy I love the deathmatch wrestling. Shit, I'm trying to remember where I have it behind me. I got stuff from John Wayne Murdoch behind me here. I don't have it displayed yet, but I got signed ring worn kick pads from Alex Colon, both
oh
huge
wow.
deathmatch guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, I love it. I even got funny stories that I'll go into another time because I feel myself getting on another tangent. But anyways, on to the next one. Lots of road trips, whether you are on the independent circuit, whether you're on national TV. And I always like to think of different playlists I have when I have longer drives. What are a couple songs that you would have on a playlist for a road trip?
I like to listen to a lot of different stuff. Hmm. I'm not really good with the names of
And that's the thing. I am. It's
I
weird.
just like I just like to pop it in and listen. Genres, I would say I listen to everything. To be honest with you, as of recent, I've been getting into listening to more of like video game soundtracks. So like instead of
Okay.
just I'm gonna find my favorite artist, I'm gonna go into say NFL Street 2 or NBA Street
No,
2 or
oh, NFL Street.
versus
Oh,
Raw.
those had some good
Yeah,
ones.
you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
No, yeah.
Smash versus Raw was 7, and get those soundtracks and just listen to those. Just have a drive full of nostalgia. Like
Oh, yeah.
I love that. Being able to see the countryside or whatever, and then just because I need to get an emulator and I haven't got one yet, so I don't have a way to play these games. But being able to listen to the music, I'm like, well, at least brings me back to that part until I get an
Yeah.
emulator.
You have those long road trips and you get memories of those games. And yeah, I can imagine. Pretty
Yeah,
fun. I know me, I really do listen to a lot of just about everything. But curious, kind of secondary to this here, looking at me, what do you think is a big genre of music that I'm listening to?
A big genre, like
Yeah.
most.
Yeah, like what do you think most of the music I'd listen to would
Are
be?
you are you a father?
Okay, that's news I'll break later.
I was gonna say maybe what is it, dad rock? Do you listen to dad rock?
Well, honestly, hell, there's some I didn't realize some of these songs, but there goes that dog again. But through posting different stuff on Instagram, I'm noticing different songs like for hell, Limp Bizkit. I've been hearing some new stuff of theirs. I'm
Yeah,
like, shit, they're still making music?
yeah.
But then I start listening to the whole song and I'm like, okay, I'm actually liking this. And then going into get over here, dummy. See, this is what I get. But then there's also country music, big into that. I've been lucky enough to meet a handful of my favorite singers. One of them, huge, that my wife and I are both into, Luke Combs. He played down in Arrowhead in Kansas City,
Oh,
and
wow.
she had applied to be in the VIP meet and greet and actually won. So
Wow.
we gotta have a beer with him. And we were actually in the pit for that show too. So
Oh, good.
man, it was fun. It was
Yeah, sounds like it.
great. Didn't really get an autograph because they had their things with that. That's whatever. But autographs I do behind me here, and I'll show you. I'll actually show it to you once we're done recording. One of my other favorite singers, I actually went to a show of his, and one ended up getting pulled on stage with him and like shotgunned a beer on stage with him. I still got the can,
Oh, wow.
hole and everything.
Did you have him sign it?
I wish, but at the end of the show, he took a guitar from one of his guitar guys and started motioning for something to write with. Right behind the camera here, signed guitar from him, hanging on my wall.
Wow. Wow. Well, hey, didn't sign the beer, but hey, signed the guitar.
I got something, but
Wow.
then a lot of people wouldn't really expect this. And yet I don't listen to too much of the new stuff, but I do listen to some rap.
Yeah.
Like most of it, I guess, would be considered old school. But oh hell, one of my favorites I've been listening to a lot on repeat lately, Method Man, Bring the Pain.
Oh, yeah.
I
Oh,
love
yeah.
that damn song.
That's one of the good ones. Yeah.
And then there's others of him. Oh God, there's a lot of the stuff with Eminem and Dr. Dre that I love. The two of them together is gold.
Yeah, they were gold. They were magic.
And then there's even been some Tech Nine.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, Tech
Like
Nine.
He's from Kansas City, which was only like
Yeah.
3 hours from me. And hell, going into another tangent. But when I was deployed, we went to Bahrain in the Middle East, and at the base there was advertisements for Tech Nine in concert. And it was,
Oh wow.
and then we had some delays getting out of there. So I was like, holy crap, I might actually be able to go see this, because I was curious. Because I'd always heard of, the stuff they do for the troops overseas in the middle, all that. So I was like, oh, this will be cool. I'll actually get to participate in one. And then we ended up leaving like the day before.
Ah.
Yeah. I was pissed for like a day or two, but then deployment, you get so busy with everything you got to do, you don't even have time to think about too much else. But yeah, a little bit of everything when it comes to music. Now, behind me here, I got some of my hobbies. I like wrestling figures, Funko Pops, and different stuff. I got huge Ninja Turtle collection. I got some souvenir shot glasses. What would you say is some hobbies that you have, if any?
I'm such a big nerd. Before before my pops, my father, he moved out of the house that he's in, the house that he was in to the house that he's in now. He had a huge rat problem, and I was a stop motion animator. Like I like to do stop motion, and I like to do stop motion with wrestling action figures. I
Oh
had
yeah.
so many wrestling action figures. I had so many rings, so many pieces, so many belts, so many cloth t-shirts, pants, all these things. You get the gist, right? I
Yeah.
went over there one day, and he had a really bad rat problem. And I went over there one day, and everything was in the garage in boxes, and and carrying crates, like like industrial carrying crates. Rats still got inside. He
Mm,
destroyed everything.
I got a story with that myself, but
Destroyed
I'll
everything.
let you finish.
Crushed my heart. Like crushed my heart.
Oh, I can only imagine. I know with my wrestling figures, most of the time I like to keep them in the box because just in case, like up top here, they're all signed
Yeah.
from people like Lance Archer and Hangman Page
Oh
to
yeah. Those in
Swerve,
box.
Swerve and Keith Lee
You definitely got to
to
keep those in box.
Rikishi Fatu, Drew McIntyre, Kushida, like
Yeah,
all
you got
sorts
yeah.
of Jeff Cobb.
Never to be opened.
Oh yeah, never. Like only time they'll be open is probably after I'm long gone.
Yeah.
I can't see this is get over here, you dummy. All right, now okay, we're back. We're back. But yeah, the only ones that I generally I do love her to death. But only ones that I generally keep that I'll take out are like the ones for the people that are no longer with us. Like
Yeah.
behind me here. I got some of my like Big Boss Man, Andre the Giant, Ultimate Warrior, Macho Man, and then I even got some Funko Pops. That the only
Yeah.
ones I've taken out of the box for like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Oh
I
wow.
just found this one today, Roddy Piper.
That's what I was wondering. I was like, is that Roddy? Is that Roddy Piper?
Yep. And then another Macho Man.
Okay.
And then, I keep most of the other ones in the box. Like when I went for that Packers trip, Mall of America, they actually have a Toys R Us. And
Really?
I got I got a Funko Pop of their mascot.
Oh,
I had to
nice.
get
Yeah.
some. I had to
Yeah.
get some.
Oh yeah. That's gonna be rare.
And
That's
then,
gonna be rare.
I even got some signed Funko Pops. Talking about, some Marvel stuff earlier. I got a Captain America signed one by Jim Shooter. Used to be a big wig at Marvel.
Oh wow.
And then this was a couple months before he unfortunately took his life, but signed Green Ranger Funko Pop from Jason David Frank.
Wow.
Like,
Wow.
I got my picture with him and he's holding it like the morphin thing.
Wow, that's sick.
And then, like growing up, pro wrestling and Ninja Turtles for me. That was my stuff. A lot of my stuff up top. But I grew up on the original cartoon. And like late this last July, I got to meet the voice of Michelangelo from the original cartoon.
Oh
I
wow.
got a Funko Pop signed by him up there. Michelangelo signed one.
Wow.
And then right next to him at the same thing, Kevin Clash, the guy behind Splinter from the first two movies, got one signed by him. And he has that classic line that I believe he said in both, but he's like, "Oh, I made a funny."
Yeah.
He asked me if I wanted cowabunga or I made a funny. I'm like, dude, I made a funny.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But yeah, like I said, like to keep most of it in box. I got my rest in peace tribute section right here. Although I don't know if hopefully I'll be able to get some of my Stone Cold stuff signed.
Oh yeah.
This whole section is just Stone Cold
Just,
stuff. Yeah, I don't get starstruck too easily. But if I ever actually got to meet him, I don't think I'd be able to get a word out. No, I built him up in my head for so long that if I ever actually got in the same room with him, I would not be able to speak. And I'd have so much I'd want to say, but I
Oh yeah.
wouldn't be able to get a damn word out. Not even kidding. And then, because, like I said, I've been able to meet a lot of greats, a lot of my favorites, even before the podcast. That Elimination Chamber cover where it's Edge and he looks like he's biting the cage.
Yeah.
I got that signed and framed, ready to put up.
Oh wow.
Yeah, one of my favorites. Love it.
Nice.
Now, before I get into too big of a tangent, because god damn it, I just did it again. Now, with the name of a show like I have, I would feel weird if I didn't put this question in here. Favorite drink, whether it be alcoholic or non, because I like to tell people just because it says drinking at Moe's does not mean it has to be alcoholic.
Yeah. Okay. My favorite drink is honestly it's gotta be rum and coke.
Ah,
It's gotta be. Gotta be. I like tequila and what's it called? Lemonade sometimes, but
okay.
for some reason the rum and coke just gets the job done.
I can dig that. I kind of a big Jack and Coke with grenadine guy.
Oh
Basically,
yeah.
it tastes like a Jack and cherry Coke.
Yeah, yeah. I
Love that.
recently tried. It's a new Crown Royal. It's Crown Royal. I think it's blueberry, and
Ooh,
tried it with Sprite, and it's amazing. But when
ooh,
I went to Bevmo, and somebody bought out all the boxes.
bastards.
Bastards.
And then, I am more of a beer guy, but I have my favorites, but shit, you put it in front of me, I'll drink it.
I
But
can IPA every once in a while.
this one, I had to say the can. Stone
Oh,
Cold
but
Broken
you tried
Skull
it.
American Lager. Freaking delicious.
It was tasty. Okay, okay. I'll
Oh
try
my
it.
god. Like, somebody like Stone Cold is gonna put his name behind a damn good beer,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that one is a
It's
damn
gotta be
good beer.
good. It's gotta be good.
Only downside is the closest they sell it to me is Kansas City.
Oh wow. You can't even
Although,
have.
lucky for me, my brother and sister-in-law live down there.
Oh, good,
So
good.
I can kind of, maybe try to, hey, when you're coming up, can you, who knows? I've debated doing it before, but I never actually got around to doing it. But before my foster dog here tries to knock down my stand again, best advice you have for anybody wanting to get into wrestling?
Best advice I would have is to take it slow. Take it slow. Try to learn everything you can, um, as well as try to get out there. I don't want to say as much as possible. Being a father, I try to get out there as much as I can, but at the same time, there's a lot of people that are able to get out there every week. So it's not about trying to be the only person out there or be out there as much as possible. I'd say to just take it slow, get your connections, train hard, and you'll get to where you want to be. You just have to work hard and be able to take criticism. If you
Yeah,
can't, if you're somebody that can't take criticism, then it's going to be hard for you because there are things that you learn in wrestling, and there are things that you learn in live wrestling that you just can't learn in training. You know what I mean? So it's going to be it takes a while for people to really get the niche of it, and that's why wrestlers are in for 6, 10, 15 years before they even get a break, because it just takes a while, and you have
yeah,
to really be dedicated to the craft to get it. And one thing I see a lot of people that I don't see a lot of people doing is studying. I remember before I left. Oh, and I was going to say one of my favorite. You didn't ask, but one of my favorite death matches was the GCW match where it was GCW versus FSW, and it was my trainer Cody Croft, Cutthroat Cody versus I think it was a tag match, but it was him and Nick Gage, and that
oh,
same match for me. Same match for me. But yeah, that was one of the last things he told me. He was like, "Yeah, man, wherever you move, wherever you go, if you're going to continue to wrestle, continue to study and grow your craft, and make sure that your matches are different and unique." And that's something that I take to this day, and I thank him for that.
Oh yeah, no, definitely great advice, because wrestling, it's something where you're always learning, always improving.
Yeah.
Nobody's perfect. And before I go, you brought up Nick Gage.
Yeah.
He's like legit on my bucket list of people I want to have on. But yeah, that one might be a little hard to do. But hey,
I
worth a
don't think
shot.
I honestly don't think
Worth a shot. You never know. But I've always, again, kind of the same boat with AEW, because they never seem to get closer than, God, I'm wanting to say St. Louis for GCW, and that's like a while from me. But I've always wanted to go to a show of theirs that Nick Gage is on, because literally the moment that man's music hits, that entire venue turns into a damn mosh pit.
Yeah, it does.
And like, I don't care where I'm sitting. I don't care if I'm ringside. I don't care if I'm like towards the back. I just want to be there for it.
Yeah. Like, I want to be inside the wave of confusion.
Yeah, I do not care where the hell I'm sitting. I just want to be there.
Exactly. Somebody's elbowing my chin, but it's okay.
Okay, I think a guy could. Yeah, I'm good. Let's go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, that would be too much fun. Well, now this thing down here is staring at me like she needs something. So, but before we go, where can people find you social media wise? So if they don't already have their eyes on you, they can go ahead and get them there.
You can find me at Twitter on JF3K _ or on Facebook at JF Wild, as well as Instagram under JF3000 Pro. And that's 3000 with the numbers, not the letters.
Gotcha. We'll get all that in the description. Like I said, doggos are looking at me like they need something, so I better get to going. Thank you for taking the time to talk to me tonight. Best of luck out there 2024 and beyond, and I look forward to seeing much more of you.
Thank you so much. And yeah, it was great. It was fun. I actually got to drive down the road of nostalgia and be able to talk wrestling, you know? I don't get to do that. I don't get to do that.
That's what I love about it. I like getting to share people's stories outside of the general area where they're at. And, maybe somebody watches and they're like, oh, I want to check out this guy's stuff.
Yeah.
And then they go and do that. And then, boom, you got a new fan right there.
Exactly. Because it's all great. And it's only getting better.
Oh, yeah. But thank you again.